Gratitude. It's something that I really believe in, and I think it's powerful and transformative. And that's not just my opinion. I've done workshops for many years, and one of the things that I bring up is keeping a gratitude journal. Now, I don't think that that's the only kind of journal you should keep, and I'm not advocating you writing down 3 things you're grateful for every day of the year. But there is a research to say that what we focus on, we tend to notice more. And so they've done studies where people who focused on writing 3 things down that they were grateful for a month had benefits of noticing more things that were positive in their lives for 6 weeks after they stopped the journal. And their brain chemistry actually changed to where they actually were more positive in a sense. They had more parts of their brain lit up to notice positive images that were flashed at them, or positive, music or other things that were considered to be positive by the researchers when they were exposed to them in environmental conditions. So it actually literally changed their brain chemistry. It changed their reticular activating system, which is, decides what we focus on and what we tune out. And so that's very powerful. And it also tended to cause people to be in a different state of mind, to have different brain waves, to have calmer brain waves. But I think there's also a strange and toxic form of gratitude that sometimes shows up. I've seen videos, and I've seen this in real life, where there will be an argument or a discussion, and someone will say something like, and this is a form of minimizing and maximizing, they'll say something like, well, you should be grateful that I didn't cheat on you. So let's say, for example, there's a lady and her boyfriend is constantly looking at other women in a sense, a disrespectful way, undressing these women with, his eyes. And when she confronts him about it, he'll say, well, you should be glad I'm not cheating on you. I'm just looking. Looking isn't a problem. And I've even heard it even way worse than that. There was a situation where there was a family that was having a lot of issues, and the kids were, in high school, and, basically one of the kids confronted the mom and said, you're not there for me, you don't listen to me, you don't make time for me. And the mom said, well, you should be glad I didn't abort you. Whew. So I'm sure you can come up with your own examples of this. You should be glad I didn't. You should be grateful I didn't. But what these statements tell me, and you see them sometimes on social media, when men are trying to tell women they should settle. If a woman posts some situation that's going on with her boyfriend or her husband, and the men in the comments are minimizing whatever he did and saying, well, you should be glad he didn't do this. You should be grateful he didn't do that. What that statement tells me is that the person saying it has very little empathy for the pain or the distress or the problem that the person speaking or writing is facing. Their main goal is to minimize the issue and to maximize what they feel is a worse alternative. But that also makes me think that you've been sitting here thinking about this worse alternative. This worse alternative occurred to you. So if there's a woman who's like, I don't like She's telling her boyfriend, I don't like how you get angry and you raise your voice and you throw things. And he says, well, you should be glad I didn't hit you. You should be glad I'm not a wife beater. You should be glad I'm not an abusive man. To me, that's telling me that he is, because he's sitting here thinking about how he would rather have done all the things he's saying he didn't do. And the fact that he didn't do them when he wanted to do them is a cause for celebration, because he restrained himself from what he really wanted to do. So I think when people try to throw what you should be grateful for, what you should be appreciative of, that didn't happen, when they try to throw that in your face, I think that's a clear sign of what they really wanted to do, but felt they couldn't get away with, felt they couldn't possibly live with, felt that the judgment of others or the consequences would be too high for them to do what they actually wanted to do. And you actually see this sometimes when you see surveys like, if the age of consent was lowered and it was legal to date younger girls, what age would you be comfortable dating? And then a man will say some ridiculous age like 10. That's what he really wants. And he wants to be celebrated because he actually doesn't do that, what he wants to do, and instead he waits till the girl turns 18 and dates her. But he might be leering at the 10-year-old. He might be saying inappropriate things to the 11-year-old. He might be trying to groom the 12-year-old, and so on and so forth. So I think you have to listen to what people say and be very aware of what it means. You know, I haven't been on dating apps in a while, but I went on one recently and I encountered a guy that seemed like he had a lot of potential. He was my age. His kids were grown. You know, he was stable. He seemed intelligent. You know, we had exchanged some voice messages on the dating app. And so, you know, I gave him a number, and the very first conversation, which was very short, less than 10 minutes, he started to complain about how when women found out he was a truck